Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Wolfie there, not wasting any time barking. We waited quite a while in the last episode, last Friday, for him to start barking, so he's made up for lost time. And as we break out of the hidey hole, I hear a zombie. Hold on, wait. Are you? Okay, he's nowhere near us. As we break out of the hidey hole and begin episode 384 of Far Lands or Bust, I'd like to remind you that we can and we do raise money for Child's Play charity over at farlandsorbust.com. Today, Monday, July 28th, 2014, we are at $7,568.55. Another anonymous $100 donation came in over the weekend, so I thank you. What am I looking at? Wood? I'm all right on wood. I need some sheeps. I want to thank the anonymous donor for their very generous donation and everybody's donations. Of course, this season 5 of Far Lands or Bust, helping Child's Play charity get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. Indeed. Here's some sheep indeed. Just before I started recording, I bit my tongue, and I was having a salty, gluten-free cracker snack, and I don't know how I did it. Not the tip of my tongue, the side of my tongue, with like my... Whoops, I dropped my shears. Now I'm dropping shears and biting tongues and blah. The side of my tongue with like my... What are the back teeth called? Molars? I have sharp molars. Wolfie? Are you coming with us, or are we just... There we go, okay. Going for a swim. So yeah, that, I hope it doesn't like start to swallow. I start to talk like this. But yeah, that was a fun time. Like, dang it! I just wanted to chew on some food, get a little bit of energy before I start recording, and that is the thanks I get. Thanks a lot, biology. Your crazy sharp teeth next to very delicate exposed muscle. The tongue's a muscle, but is it covered in skin? Is that technically skin that it's covered in? Very, very delicate and really just annoying, I suppose, is what that's about. But anyway, enough about that craziness. Let's have another launch notice. That one rocket that we've been waiting since last Thursday? Wednesday? Yeah, it was scrubbed on Wednesday due to technical issues with the rocket. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday scrubbed due to poor weather there in Florida. Cape Canaveral, near Kennedy Space Center, just east of Orlando. Bad weather. So they're having their fifth launch attempt today, a little bit earlier, 6:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is 22:43 GMT. Still trying to launch the same rocket. Problems there as far as the weather is concerned. I'm not sure what the forecast is. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty similar. Florida is pretty much a humid, just a humid mess, just a disgusting, sticky, humid mess this time of year, and especially into the evening. But as you'll notice, every time the launch gets delayed a day, the launch time gets earlier by about 10 minutes, and that's just simply due to the fact of the Earth's rotation and the way that the days and the tilt changes, and they need to get into a specific geosynchronous orbit for these satellites they're launching, and in order to match the Earth's rotation over the specific plot of land that they're trying to launch into, it adjusts the launch window every single time to kind of... They're not rendezvousing with anything, but think of it as rendezvousing with a specific point out in space. You've got to adjust your launch time for optimal orbital insertion maneuvers. So yeah, 6:43 p.m. Eastern, that's 5:43 p.m. Central. I almost missed it. Well, I forgot about it the last time, and so I'll try to remember this time, but we'll see. So yeah. Space! While I said space, we get launches nearly every day, every other day about, whether they be commercial or to the International Space Station or scientific. It's still not ideal. It's not an ideal arrangement we have. We're stuck using the chemical propulsion, and we are at the whims of weather constraints and launch constraints and time, and it's not like your Firefly or Star Trek where they just, oh, let's go into space. Okay, any day or time will do. Let's just go right now, and we're suddenly there. They don't really have to adhere to the bindings of gravity and time and orbits and stuff like that. They're more of a point A to point B type of travel, it seems. But anyway, I digress. With a lot of those donations, I got a lot of good questions, a lot of multi-part questions. So I'm gonna have to get to them here, and a few of them seem like they might spur on a series of discussions and talks and whatnots. So let's get to a question, or a series of questions, 3 questions from Plaid Dragon. Thank you very much for the donation to Child's Play charity, obviously, but Plaid Dragon asks, do you watch TED Talks? If so, which ones have stuck out in your mind? I mean, I don't really watch them as a matter of habit or anything. Every once in a while, I'll see a link or a post that refers to one, and I'll watch it. They're kind of... they're those things I'm not sure how I feel about. They're kind of these abridged versions of, like, educational talks. They seem sometimes, at times, a little bit, depending on the topics, they seem sometimes a little bit elitist, I suppose might be the word I'm looking for, or, especially when you're talking to, like, industry leaders, or technology figureheads, or philosophical or business people. They seem a little bit like they should be taking place. Well, I suppose TED is a conference, but they should be taking place in like an industry conference, or something of those sorts. They start to feel a little bit like those flyers you get in the mail for learn to sell and maximize your profits with real estate. So come down to the local Maggiano's on this day, hosted by, but it's obviously, it almost seems like they're trying to sell you on a pyramid scheme. But overall, I suppose and I know there's other criticisms out there of the TED Talks. Overall, I think they're all right, and there are certainly a bunch related to NASA and space. Carolyn Porco, who is the lead of the Cassini mission, but she's also had a long history. She's worked on the Voyager mission with Carl Sagan, and I suppose a very big name as far as scientific spaceflight and planetary sciences specifically are concerned. But she gave a talk on the Cassini mission. It was basically a lot of the stuff I already knew, but I suppose it is repackaging the scientific data into a more digestible short form talk with pictures and little sound bites. That's what the TED Talks. That's what I was trying to think. They're kind of just like sound bites, and so it's very easy to miss the bigger picture there. But that's a good one. I haven't watched it, but apparently Stephen Hawking did one. But again, it seems like it's just a very condensed summary of his work in general and stuff that if you already do follow his work, or just the cosmological any work, not even his but other people's and scientists and studies and theories, you might already know. So it seems like it kind of condenses and repackages things into handy little sound bites that can be distributed to people who might not be in the know, which is a good thing, I suppose, outreach and whatnot, but kind of misses the big picture. One that makes the rounds quite a lot, not related to NASA or science, is Amanda Palmer's. It's kind of there's a lot of people who pick sides on her talk, but it's about what's it called, The Art of Asking, where she basically relates her time as a street performer, I suppose, and asking for tips, and keeping a little guitar case out and asking for people to drop money in there for doing whatever you do on the street, performance art, whatever it is. I can't remember what specifically she did. and kind of relating that to her initial reservations about doing that, about whether or not that's a good thing. Also kind of using that as a way to disconnect as a performer from the large industry, the record labels. She's a musician, I suppose, for those of you who don't know. And you know, not necessarily, and I kind of talked about this before with the whole copyright fiasco of getting that Michelle Phan getting sued by Ultra Records, and even the artists were against that, but they are not in control of their music anymore. And you know, she kind of, Amanda Palmer uses that talk to kind of trump up the crowdfunding, and I suppose going beyond simply asking for quarters and pennies on the streets as a performer towards the larger scale crowdfunding movement. But let's go to sleep and continue talking in the morning. And awakeness. Ooh, the cloud. That cloud very perfectly, like, it was like a Tetris piece, encircled the sun for a moment there. That was a fancy little. Oh, I could probably make it happen again. Ooh, parallax. Whoa. It's as if the sun is wearing a belt. Anyway, I'm very easily amused. So yeah, that one, I mean, that one's pretty good, and as someone like myself, I'm someone like myself, hey, it's a realization I've just recently come to, someone like myself who does, you know, kind of hard to classify what the gameplay Let's Play is. Performance, I suppose, a little bit, broadcast, personality, and whatnot, can relate to, especially in regards to a lot of what happens on the internet and in relation to advertising revenue. And I kind of cherry-picked this question because, yes, it does relate to something maybe we'll talk about on Wednesday. Depends. I have some plans have been brewing. Ideas, I suppose, have been posed in my brain space over the last month, and I've been working on something. So we'll see, and we'll go forth with that. But regardless, like I said, Plaid Dragon had multiple questions here. He says in the second question, "You've said it before, but I don't remember." This is his voice. "You've said it before, but I don't remember. What kind of office chair do you have? And would you say it's worth the money?" Yes, back when I started doing this YouTube thing as a full-time gig, I realized the little cheapo $100 Office Depot or Office Max office chair that I had was not cutting it. I was starting to obtain some very serious back issues, so I decided to research and look into what I call space chairs. I was basically between the Herman Miller, the Aeron chair, which is the very typical mesh chair that you see in offices. You know, you see it actually the NASA Mission Control building. If you watch the live feed of from NASA, they have an overview of the Mission Control, and they've all got the Aeron chairs, all about ergonomics and posture and whatnot. So I was between that one and the one I actually ended up getting, the Steel Case Leap. The Steel Case Leap. It was definitely a leap as far as my budget was concerned, and I'm sure if you look it up on your Amazons or elsewhere, you will indeed take a leap yourself. But I ended up going with this one, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And it's sturdy. My main problem with the cheaper Office Max, Office Depot type of chairs was that the cushioning and just the materials themselves wore out within months, if not the first year. This one I'm working on the third year. When did I buy this? A little bit less than 3 years ago, I think. You know, everything is still works and comfortable. It took a long time to finagle. There's so many different settings. It's kind of like too much choice means you get like kind of frozen. You're not sure what to do, but there's so many settings with the back adjustments and the tension and the seat forward versus backward, and the height of the arms, and the armrests move back and forth and sideways and at angles, and It took a long time, like months of time, to actually feel like, okay, this position right here is probably the setup I like. And then, every once in a while I accidentally move it, and I'm like, no, I lost the perfect setup. But yeah, I would say possibly worth it for somebody who spends 8, 10, 12 hours a day at least in an office chair. And I know there's going to be people who are probably, oh, the standing desk, the standing desk, the standing desk. Yeah, there's pluses and minuses to that. And, the thing I would really like, but again, is another, speaking of taking leaps with your budget, is they make tables that actually change from a standing desk to an actual normal sitting desk. And as somebody who enjoys the racing Vigi games with the racing wheel, a dedicated standing desk would not work out too well. I'm not sure of anybody who plays or drives in the standing position with a wheel and pedal setup. Oh, I'm gonna get stuck in this little area right here. Yeah, that's fine. I will disembark. Bark? No? Okay. Fine then. Do not play into my puns. Woof, there we go. So yeah, that's the reason I opted for simply a more comfortable chair. A more ergonomically friendly chair, I suppose. And, so yeah, that's the one I went with. If it's just like, if you work away from home and it's just your home office chair that you maybe use nights and weekends, maybe might not be the best use of your funds, your budget. But for somebody, like I said, home office, or I don't know, maybe in your office you have a choice of chairs you get to choose from the company you work for. That'd be good. So, yeah, I suppose the big mistake I made is I didn't test or sit in any of the chairs. Simply because I don't like leaving the house. I don't like going to stores and checking these things out. So, I kind of just went a lot based on reviews, and I looked at reviews from people who were my similar stature, height, and weight, and that's how I ended up making my edumacated decision on the steel case leap. Woof! The third question from Plaid Dragon. Do you enjoy classical music? Why or why not? I suppose that depends on what your definition of classical music is. If you mean like the actual classical Beethoven, your Bachs, your other classical music, I don't know that many. It's good and I enjoy it, but I don't just sit and listen to it, I suppose. I like instrumental, specifically, your soundtrack style music, your original scores from movies, film, television. I will listen to at times even video game music. That can be considered not, I suppose, classical, but instrumental, orchestral. That sort of thing I like. So yeah, I can't say in particular I like classical music just in general as a whole or anything like that. But yeah, thank you very much for those questions and of course the donation from Kieran asks kind of a complicated question here. Let's see here. If the government gave you guaranteed basic income, parentheses, a living wage that you would receive no matter what your other income is, blah, 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 until you die or cease to be a citizen, how would it affect your life? Would you still make YouTube videos? Would you remove ads? I suppose if you didn't need ad money to make a living, would you do what, say, John Green, the Vlog Brothers are doing and donate their additional ad revenue to charity? This, like I said, from Kieran, who references a subreddit called Basic Income. And I looked up a little bit. I did extremely basic, like I looked it up on Wikipedia, and I leafed through the FAQs and a few of the threads on that Reddit. I guess it's kind of an economic theory, kind of movement-ish about this sort of, what is it called again? I lost the question already. Basic income. It sounds interesting without further in-depth research into it. It's not, I suppose, my first and initial reaction to it was, that's communism. I'm an American. I'll get thrown in jail. What's his name? McCarthy will come after me and make me go crazy like what's his name? The guy with the airplanes. You know, historical people that I can't personally remember the name of right now, but I'm sure I'll remember it the moment I stop recording. So that was my like initial reaction, but no, it's different than that, I suppose. It's more of just a basic wage, and otherwise capitalism and whatnot is allowed to continue to exist. And like he said in his question, you're still able to make your normal income via your work or your job any which way you please, but otherwise the government just gives everybody this flat, livable income. Reverse income tax, I suppose, is another catchphrase for it. And actually, on the Wikipedia page, everybody, things I have learned. Speaking of sound bites, Alaska actually has something that could be considered this. Alaska residents actually receive each a share of the state's oil revenues, which is basically kind of reverses their state income tax, is basically what it ends up doing. It's not by any means a basic income or a livable income. It's only about $800 per year, but it's similar as far as in concept to that. And I'll answer your specific questions about what I would do and blah, 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 blah in the morning. Ooh, hello, hello. A little bit of a snort stuck in my nose there. And a wakeness and a snortness. Don't snort things, kids. It's bad. It's bad for your brains. Bad for your brain spaces. But what would I do? I don't know what I would do. I certainly spawner. I would find a spawner and dig it out and try to see what treasures. Oh, careful, Wolfie! Don't go down there. Yep, stay up here. That was some. Hey, oh God! Stop! Just stop! Good Lord! Parkour, Wolfie there. That was some of the fanciest footwork I've ever seen him do. Yellow. All right, that didn't work. All right, let's see what kind of spawner we have here. First of all, spider spawner. Woof. Well, that's probably why none of them have spawned, because they require the two blocks of space to spawn. Am I digging deep enough? No, I'm not. Yellow chests. I request some chests. Chestabules. Treasures. Oh, does this not? Oh, there goes my shovel. Dang it! You dang spawner. Oh, there we go. Iron, I'll take. I accidentally ate some Wolfie treats in the last episode, so I don't need any food. Spooky noises. Sorry, I was answering a question, but I got distracted. That is the way Farlands Bust works. Kind of like a vloggy, podcasty thing, but at any moment we may have our attention diverted to something else. And that is specifically what's happening right here. Yeah, normally there aren't such things as a 3-chest spawner, so I don't know why I'm continuing to check this place out. Bing, bong, bing. Sorry. Music! Speaking of classical music, I like the Minecraft music. I bought the Minecraft album when C418 released it. It is one of those kind of, like, it kind of matches, but kind of doesn't. Look at all this sand I got. Kind of matches, but kind of doesn't, but it's still very, instrumental and peaceful and whatnot. All right, that was we got some iron out of that, but we got our basic income from that spawner from Minecraft. Ooh, there might be another one there. What would I do? Yeah, I mean, I even just taking away that concept, even the concept of retirement isn't one that I fully want to plan on. I mean, I want to plan on. I obviously you need some sort of, you need to fund your own self depending on the situation beyond that. So yeah, I'd save a little bit, probably not as much as people would recommend, but for retirement. But even that, I still would want to keep doing something or working or feeling productive, or just to not to people's ideas, or at least the idea that's sold to us is head down to Florida and live by the beach in the sun and have your grandkids visit every year or something like that. That doesn't appeal to me. I wanna be doing stuff and out and about. I mean, look at people, certain, I suppose, people I look up to. Look at someone like Buzz Aldrin. He's flying all around the world and writing books and promoting space flight and missions to Mars. And he's still doing stuff. He's still out there. He's not retired. He's not just sitting by the farm. Which, there's nothing, I suppose, wrong if that's the choice of what you want to do, whatever. But it's not something that I certainly plan on. So even on that regard, if say for some reason we all received a wage on which we could keep ourselves alive and healthy and under shelter and a livable wage, I would still want to work towards something. Perhaps I would do so, like you suggest, on a more charitable level or so. Perhaps I would do so without the pressure. It would certainly be without the pressure of, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, that, or if I don't get this many videos out, or I'm gonna have problems or whatever. So yeah, it would be, I suppose, workable. But yeah, that was a different question. I had not known about the existence of such ideas, such theories, such movements as those. So, and perhaps many of you haven't either. And I'm sure there's opinions, many opinions on the internet. I never heard such a thing. I'm sure there are many opinions for and very loud opinions against. And I'm sure many of them are not civil in the lightest, but it seems interesting. It's not communism, and it's one of those things. A lot of people always talk about the markets and capitalism and industry, and it's the economy as if it's some sort of force of nature, like earthquakes or the solar wind. It's something humans made. It's something we can control, and if we all decided, whoa, let's not go that way, Wolfie. Whoa, let's go over here. Woo, that was pretty close. I rarely. No, Wolfie, over here. Good Lord, he's drawn to it. I must walk into the fires. Oh my God, he was good thing there was a block there. He would have just lollygagged right into it. You noodle? What's wrong with you? Walking towards lava. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, if we all banded together and made a decision to, oh, that cow died. If we all banded together to change it, it's a man-made human construct. It's not, it is something we made. It's something we could change and adapt for the better, versus just simply, shrugging our shoulders. We are at the whim of the winds of those people in the funny colored vests all yelling at each other and making weird hand signals, and on the phone on the stock market exchanges are all deciding how much our bananas and our gas costs, and these are all humans. These are people. This is all within our control, I suppose. But anyway, I haven't. Like I said, I kind of did very brief research on this topic in particular, and I can't say that. Whilst I shear some blocky sheep in the world of Minecraft, I can't say I'm the most. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation ready. I don't have a full TED talk ready about this to discuss one way or the other. But I do appreciate Kieran's donation and question there at the Child's Play charity. We have got a series of questions from Thomas. Do you ever think we will be able to send people to another star system, in our lifetime? That is an emphatic absolutely not. I sometimes now question our ability to send people to another planet within my lifetime. I'm talking my lifetime here. So to another star system, we would even to be able to send a robotic mission, a non-manned mission to another star system. Just the to even comprehend the distance to the nearest star system, whether or not it even has any planets worth sending anything to investigate is mind-boggling, and something that you need to have unlocked 100% of your cerebral capacity and Scarlett Johansson and whatnot. I saw that movie. It was all right, but yeah, pretty silly. No, it's not possible within our lifetime. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's why we are instead building extremely large telescopes to hopefully be able to look at and observe chemical properties and physical and just the light, to observe the light from these extrasolar systems with planets is the best we can do right now. Instead of sending ourselves there, we're simply retrieving the light that has been sent from there. So it's a different way street. Within our lifetime, no. Maybe within 100 lifetimes? Because that's unless something significant like Interstellar, the movie coming out this November, Christopher Nolan, unless like something else comes along that flops our universe on top of itself, there's no way, no how. I'm afraid within our lifetime. Second question from Thomas. Ooh. Is this the last day? It is the last day. Good gravy. Would you rather paint your whole bedroom or deal with a YouTube copyright notice? Well, I'm having to deal with YouTube copyright notices regardless of my choice. Got a couple. Once again, everybody, I wish I could keep using, for those of you who watch UHC, you know the suspenseful music, the very creepy music that happens whenever I wish to create suspense. It's from Kevin MacLeod in Contact.com. And I wish I could keep using that, but I'm certainly allowed to. It's available Creative Commons, and we have permission to use it, but it is just copyright claim bait. And the most recent one, oops, sorry, no, keep sitting. The most recent one is I have this one video from season 10, The Revenge of the Hermit Head. That it literally has 8 claims on it, all on the same timestamp. So the Content ID system is so thorough that it claims that a single piece of audio signature belongs to multiple different music and Content ID owners. It's just so very accurate and thorough. And oops, I made an extra long hidey hole here. This latest one is from WMG, and I got it on 2 different videos on the same. WMG is Warner Music Group. So now you know who not to purchase music from in the future. And they basically claimed I filed a dispute. I have a notepad text file that I could just copy and paste, because I know somebody's going to claim that. I just copy and paste and replace whatever it was before with WMG does not own this copyright. And I dispute. They have rejected my dispute. I have been rejected, which means I go on to the much more intimidating and scary process of disputing the rejection, which means if it's all up to them, they have 30 days to sit on it and decide. It's up to them if they would like to, for a second round, say, no, this is our music. Instantaneous copyright strike, and they have to file a legal DMCA takedown notice. And that's scary. And I hope simply the fact that they have to take legal action is enough of a barrier that they'll actually look at what I've written down and said, this is not your music, instead of just, there's some monkey in the WMG offices just clicking deny, 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 deny. I want to make a shovel here. So if my channel disappears in the next couple days, because we've learned, even though technically it's supposed to be 3 strikes, as we've learned from Milby and MC Gamer, apparently YouTube now is on a 1-strike take down your channel system. This is great. So yeah, if my channel disappears, you know what happened. But yeah, so I have no choice. I both have to paint as I have, and now I'm dealing with content ID problems. Thomas. It's a very timely question there, but oops, I keep hitting F. Oh, dang it. I'm changing the fog distance, so I feel like tomorrow it might be foggy out, but yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. This episode of Farmlands and Bust had a lot of good questions, a lot of good things to talk about here, and we'll have more in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Start to swallow, I start to talk like this.